I am back with part 8 of my video series on bad officiating in the 2016 NCAA championship game. This video will focus on 50-50 calls and referee decorum. 50-50 plays are instantaneous basketball actions where players of different teams are seeking possession of the ball. There are no specific rules governing 50-50 plays, as they are not a unique play defined in the rulebook like traveling or personal fouls. However, the rulebook does specifically state the definition of possession, what is and what isn't possession, and it does specifically state illegal contact in general, which is Rule 10.1.1 covered in my 6th video. The combination of these rules govern the 50-50 play, and getting the call or even the no call correct is paramount, since gaining possession of the ball is the most important objective of the game. After all, you cannot score if you do not have possession. Since there was only one 50-50 play in the championship game, and sadly it gets called incorrectly, this one play would make for a very short video. As a result, I decided to combine 50-50 plays with referee decorum, and there were two instances where referee decorum was definitely below standard and, in my honest opinion, may have even crossed the line. So let's get started. I will begin with the 50-50 play, which occurs about 4 minutes into the second half.
Big lob, and never got a clean hold of it. Meeks off the floor. Meeks able to get there.
Brunson, I think they're going to call. Who are they going to call this on?
I think they're going to call a foul here.
Is it Meeks, maybe?
But you got to love it, Coach. Both teams laying it all on the line, sacrificing their bodies, getting on the floor.
It's on Meeks. Right there. Wow. His second.
I don't know about,
I don't know. A little play on, a little skirmish.
If you noticed in the real speed video, the official that made the call from the baseline, Terry Weimer, signaled with a swinging arm motion that North Carolina's Kennedy Meeks used his arm to discard Villanova's field booth. With that signal, it seems as if the referee is invoking the illegal contact in general rule known as 10.1.1. When we look at the moment of contact, we see that Kennedy Meeks only has one arm extended, not two, which is what the official signaled. Also, his one arm is reaching for the ball and actually secures the ball with no forcible contact to the Villanova player. If the official is invoking the 10.1.1 rule, then he clearly gets the call wrong because a two-arm discard by Kennedy Meeks did not occur. Let's look at another rule, Rule 4, Section 29, Article 3, which covers player positioning during rebounds. Since we know that neither team has possession as the ball is loose following a shot attempt, we must take this rule into account. Feel free to pause the video at this point if you need time to read it. I'm going to show you the play again, but this time I want you to watch and see if Phil Booth ever establishes a position on the floor.
Big lob, and never got a clean hold of it. Meeks off the floor. Meeks able to get there.
Brunson, I think they're going to call. Who are they going to call this on?
I think they're going to call a foul here.
Is it Meeks, maybe?
but you got to love it, Coach. Both teams laying it all on the line, sacrificing their bodies, getting on the floor.
It's on Meeks. Right there. Wow. His second.
I don't know about,
I don't know. A little play on, a little skirmish.
At no point in the video does Phil Booth ever establish a position on the floor. In fact, he never even gets a hand on the ball to establish possession. Yet in this still frame, we can see Kennedy Meeks has his extended arm on the ball. The referees that signaled foul were reacting to Phil Booth going from a running motion to falling on his rear end, and they were making the faulty assumption that this was the result of illegal contact by Kennedy Meeks. They could not have been more wrong, as the video evidence shows. Since there is only one 50-50 play, the score sheet is rather simple. Kennedy Meeks has one of his personal fouls erased, which also reduces North Carolina's second half team foul count by 1. This reduction in fouls matters because opposing teams begin shooting free throws on the 7th team foul regardless if the foul occurs in the act of shooting. We will have to wait and see how this impacts the game when I discuss the referee adjusted box score in the next video, but now we can move on to the second subject of this video, referee decorum. The first example of referee decorum takes place when the referee, Terry Weimer, fails to blow the whistle on an obvious travel by Villanova's Josh Hart. I actually referenced this example in my video on hand checking. Josh Hart gets away with an obvious travel, and the play ends up with a reach-in foul on North Carolina, followed by another reach-in foul on North Carolina, followed by a made three-point shot by Villanova. I deemed it the most pivotal play in the game as it gives 6 points to Villanova that they would not have had. Let's watch the video to see it all unfold.
Two-point mentality is always on the floor.
Daryl Reynolds has come in, number 45 for Villanova. As Hart, surrounded by Tarheels, able to squeeze that over to Brunson.
Nice
Needs
cut.
help. It's Booth.
Under 5. Small change. Nickel dimer.
Yeah.
As I said in the hand-checking video, the conversation was started by the referee, Terry Weimer, and he specifically targets the player that committed the travel. He remembered who it was and what he did, and he walks right up to him as if he was giving him a warning. You don't give warnings for travels, you call them. When you walk up to the player and you both are laughing at that play, the decorum by the official leads me to believe that the missed travel possibly could have been intentionally missed. When it happens and you see it, you call it. You don't give a free pass for the first offense. Let's go to the second example, which is completely inexplicable, but I will try my best. I'll show the video in full, show the relevant pieces of the video, and then show the video again so you can see it with full perspective of the situation.
Contain him. He's only taken a shot. He has not scored. Here's Ochefu. He loves the hook shot.
Nice.
And he's got the touch to go with it.
Good calls. They got look. We're just going to warn both players, I think. Hart and Jackson got into it a little bit. Just love the ability, and this really isolates people. You're going to decide, do you want to go play it? Come on, guys, just pay attention. 3 good officials, and right away Michael Stevens telling Jackson to lay off a little bit. He's giving him a little homeschooling, by the way.
Exactly. Michael Stevens, John Higgins, Terry Weimer. Let's give them a nod. The officials will get the championship call. Here's what they're all intense about. Look at that.
That's good basketball. I love it.
In this frame, we see Justin Jackson with inside position for a rebound against Josh Hart. Josh Hart tries to go underneath but fails and has to retort with a dirty move that you can see in the next frame. Failing to get better position, Josh Hart grabs Justin Jackson's left arm with both of his arms and attempts to perform what looks like a WWE one-arm hip toss, where you try to throw the opponent over your body through your hip act. Josh Hart, being smaller and lighter than Justin Jackson, fails miserably at this attempt. Josh Hart falls to the floor in an attempt to sell the referee that he was the victim instead of the aggressor, and the official Terry Weimer falls for it. He stops play to talk to both players, even though Josh Hart was the only one that needed it. Justin Jackson raises both arms in the air to indicate he was innocent of it all, and the video evidence shows that he was indeed innocent. This is where referee Terry Weimer crosses the line. As you can see, Terry Weimer has Justin Jackson's jersey clenched with both of his fists, almost as if he's going to fight him, all the while he is verbally scolding him. Remember, Jackson has done nothing wrong. Somehow, Terry Weimer ends up in a huddle with all 5 Villanova players after fist clenching and verbally scolding a North Carolina player, even though that player did nothing wrong. The appearance of it all is so sketchy that another referee, Michael Stevens, walks by and says something to Terry Weimer, and instantly the huddle breaks apart. It's like they are all found with their hand in the cookie jar and they scramble so that none of them get caught. As I said before, I will show you the video again, and with this new understanding, watch it for yourself and see what you think.
Contain him. He's only taken a shot. He has not scored. Here's Ochefu. He loves the hook shot.
Nice.
And he's got the touch to go with it.
Good calls. They got look. We're just going to warn both players, I think. Hart and Jackson got into it a little bit. Just love the ability, and this really isolates people. You're going to decide, do you want to go play it? Come on, guys, just pay attention. 3 good officials, and right away Michael Stevens telling Jackson to lay off a little bit. He's giving him a little homeschooling, by the way.
Exactly. Michael Stevens, John Higgins, Terry Weimer. Let's give them a nod. The officials will get the championship call. Here's what they're all intense about. Look at that.
That's good basketball. I love it.
When an official blows a typical call like traveling or contact fouls, sometimes you have to chalk it up to the human element because humans make mistakes. But when the 50-50 calls and the referee decorum are also going in the favor of the same team that is benefiting from the missed travels and missed fouls, it throws the human element argument out of the window. This concludes my analysis on the 50-50 calls and the referee decorum. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will tune in for the next video, which calculates the referee's impacts on the score of the game.